for coming to the 2022 Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame induction ceremony and reception. Our next presenter is currently Vice Chairman of the KDA Board of Directors, and next year will become Chairman for the third time in the last 12 years. I think that's a record. All right, please welcome Chris Morris, a member of the 2017 class of the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame, Master Distiller and Vice President of Whiskey Innovation at Brown-Forman, to introduce Industry Award recipient Kaveh Zamanian, founder, whiskey maker, and CEO of Rabbit Hole Distillery.
Thank you, Eric. You may know Kaveh as an innovator, as the creator of the Rabbit Hole brand, the builder of an innovative whiskey, I don't know what you would call that distillery in Nulu, Rabbit Hole Distillery, where you can see our product being made as never before, as an impetus in the development of the southeastern side of Nulu. I know him as a member of the KDA board, as a quiet leader, as a friend, as a counselor, as a founder of the Order of the Writ. And if you want more details on Kaveh, you can scan it in your program. But I'd just like to say thank you, Kaveh, for all of your leadership and assistance on the KDA board and the Order of the Writ. Please come and accept your award.
Thank you, Chris. I'm trying to soak this in a little bit, guys. Kaveh Zamanian. It's kind of an interesting follow to Wilson and Van Winkle. I want to say thank you to the members of the KDA board, members of the Hall of Fame. It's really tough for me to describe how I feel standing here. I should give you a little bit of a backstory if you're not familiar. My connection to Kentucky was when I was a little kid, going to, watching reruns of Daniel Boone and eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. I was born in Iran, and during the Revolution, we had to pack our bags and literally overnight, get out of Dodge, very similar to some of the Ukrainian immigrants that are going through that hardship these days, without any clarity of where we're going to end up and what are we going to do. And as you can imagine, life is uncertain, but in particular for immigrants that have to leave those kinds of circumstances, even that much more uncertain. But my connection to the US and what it meant to me was ingrained, it was deep. I went to an American school in Iran, and one of the things that was always part of my thinking, and my Aunt Dolores from Chicago always used to say this, that I was American long before I stepped foot in America, is the idea of promise and pursuit, or better say opportunity and pursuit. That's what brought me to the States, and that's actually really was the foundation for Rabbit Hole. My introduction to Kentucky explicitly was about 20 years ago through my beautiful wife Heather, who's a fourth generation Kentuckian. Started coming down here and really practically overnight fell in love with the Commonwealth, with the heritage, with the tradition, made dear friends. And having cut my teeth in the hospitality business when I was a kid, I had always had a soft spot for spirits. And there was something magical about bourbon. I think there's something really magical about spirits in general. It's one of the things that we do as human beings that's genuinely about bringing people together and celebrating. It's one of the, I think, human accomplishments and achievements. Food, music, spirits. It's a little surreal for me to stand here a little bit over 10 years since we started Rabbit Hole. It simply started with an idea around the table. And I need to give thanks to Cameron Talley, Don Freitag, Cameron Leali, Justin Dack. You guys sat around with folks like Larry Ebersol, listening to my cockamamie ideas and ultimately leaving your great paying jobs to jump down the rabbit hole with me. Wouldn't have been able to do this without your support and your assistance. And also have to say thanks to my beautiful wife, Heather. You're my rock. There's no way we would be able to do everything that we've done together. It was a major pivot for me. I left a 20-year clinical practice as a psychologist to get in the bourbon business. My vision was simple. It was to make one-of-a-kind whiskey expressions. I was taken by the story of farmer distillers here in Kentucky that back in the day made lots and lots of different expressions of bourbon. And I thought that that's actually one of the things that's really magical about bourbon, because if you think about it, within the parameters of what constitutes bourbon, 51% corn, new charred oak containers, there's 49% room for creativity. And how beautiful is that? You know, we talk about 51% corn, 49% magic around Rabbit Hole, because for me the inspiration, very similar to the culinary tradition, is how do we create unique expressions of bourbon? And I think that's probably one of the most proudest achievements that we've had together as a team with Rabbit Hole, and we hope to continue to do that. I also want to thank my children, Henry, Lily, and Isabella. There were 7, 5, and 4 when I decided to close the clinical practice and get in the bourbon business. Heather used to ask, how do you know these recipes that you're laying down are going to be any good? And of course the answer was, I have no idea. And she used to say that you're going to take the family down the down Rabbit Hole. And that's how the name came to be. And now standing here a little bit over 10 years, I think that I look back at our achievements and accomplishments, and I feel like in a lot of ways we're just getting started. For me, it's just an absolute honor to be standing here with the likes of Mr. Rutledge, Mr. Russell. I mean, I'm quite honestly, I'm very just honored and at a loss for words here. So thank you very much for acknowledging me today. Thank you for asking me to join your ranks, and I hope that I can make you proud moving forward in what I'm doing individually and what we're doing collectively at Rabbit Hole. Thank you.
Weep no more, my lady. Oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home. For my old Kentucky home, para.